welcome back to Devils United. We've finally got a Manchester United preview, and it's against one of the biggest games in the Premier League, the Manchester Derby, Manchester United versus Manchester City. I've got a great Manchester City fan with me today of Charlie. Charlie, how are you?
I'm not bad, Maisy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to the game, but I'm not under the same breath. But it's always good to play against your rivals. Just want to say hello there to Torsen, who's in the chat. I hope you are well. Hello there to Henry. I hope you are well. And hello to my dad. I hope you are well. I just also want to say a big shout out to both Andrew and Reese, the first two members of the channel. So thank you both for setting up your memberships. It really means a lot to support the channel. If you haven't already, go and check out the membership. It's got some great perks onto there. We'll start with how Man City's been this season, because a lot of people are saying this is another level of Manchester City now you've got Erling Haaland.
Yeah, he's a monster, to be honest. 14 goals in, might even be 15 goals after the international break already this season. So he's just a different level. 2 hat-tricks, a brace against West Ham. The only game he didn't score was against Liverpool. Liverpool fans started laughing at him, and it's not ended well for them. So he's made us into a completely different team this season.
I completely agree. And you and Tottenham now are the only two teams who remain unbeaten so far in the Premier League. How long do you think this unbeaten run could go for? Do you think Man United could beat it?
I hope not. I really hope not. That would be poor. I know we're the only team in the Premier League unbeaten in all competitions, because Tottenham got beat in the Champions League. But Tottenham look good as well this season. But hopefully the unbeaten streak can continue this weekend.
Well, I'm not finger crossed for my sake, because of course I want us to win. I'll just say hello to a few more people in the chat. Hey there, just me. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Hey there, Vicar. Thank you for coming in. Hope you are well. Good evening there to Andrew. Hope you're well. And thank you again for setting up the membership. It means a lot. Good evening, Tom. I have a bad feeling about Sunday. I'm not too sure. I am not too sure at all. Hey there, Raver. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're well. So, we'll start off first with Man City's transfer business, because taking away Erling Haaland, I was very, very annoyed you got Calvin Phillips. He's out of Manchester United. He's probably my favourite player. So I was so annoyed you got him.
Yeah, well, he can't even get in the team at the minute because Rodri's been playing, but that shows how good our squad depth is. But our business, in my opinion, has been the best in the Premier League this summer. Alvarez, Gomez, Akanji, Phillips, Ortega, Alvarez, Haaland, and we still get a profit. It's mental, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. You recently you signed the player, didn't you, from Borussia Dortmund? And I've heard he's supposed to be starting alongside Ruben Diaz this weekend.
Akanji has been playing. He's impressed me, to be fair. Dortmund fans, when he left, were happy to see him go, and as it stands, I don't understand why, to be honest. He's been very solid for us next to Diaz.
Completely. And Diaz as well is a terrific centre-back. I think he complements whoever he's alongside with, because John Stones, for me, he wasn't up to scratch until Ruben Diaz came in. And I would say the same as Laporte. He didn't look the same until Diaz came in. It just feels like he's affected the back line so well.
Yeah. And even the fullbacks like Cancelo, he's moved on to a different level since Diaz came in. And Walker as well, he's, of course, very solid defensively. So we've got a very strong defence this season, definitely.
100%. Thank you to my queen, who's become a YouTube member on the channel. Means a lot. And thank you as well, Vicky, for becoming a YouTube member as well. It means a lot, both of you, to support the channel. George is in the chat. I hope you're well. Do you have any injuries at all for Man City coming to the weekend?
Just Stones. He got injured in the
England,
Germany
didn't
game. Yeah, Laporte's back in training. I doubt he'll start, but he's back in training. So yeah, that's it. Just Stones.
That's not too bad then, because I'm trying to think. We've already discussed about who we had injury wise. Rashford and Martial hasn't trained all week, so both of them will most likely won't be playing, because if they're not played, there's no reason why they'll be in the lineup. Palestri is supposed to be out, but Palestri wouldn't have been used anyway. Dubravka is out. Donny returns back, but Donny's not going to be used, is he? So, looking at minus Rashford and Martial, there isn't anyone there who's going to be playing for Manchester United coming to the weekend.
No. It's just Phillips as well who's injured, but he's of course not been playing anyway.
What injury does Phillips have?
Shoulder injury, I think.
Shoulder injury. Hey there, I like coffee. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Ravi said, if there's stand a chance, they'll have to stop any link up to Haaland from the start. I completely agree. For me, though, I don't know if you agree, Charlie. I think if you was from a Manchester United point of view, the player who you'd need to isolate the most would be Kevin De Bruyne, because you've seen the most link-up play with De Bruyne and Haaland. And the way they both played, you'd think they played together for years.
Discount if you
Definitely.
Tom, I'm thinking a 3-2 win for Man United. Goal scorers, one for Haaland, one for De Bruyne, one for Anthony, one for Sancho. Rashford's not playing, unfortunately, Tom. He's injured. Thank you very much, Vicky, for joining. Hey there to my queen. I hope you are well. I like Coffee's gone for a 4-3 City because Haaland will be releasing this fixture. I hope not. I like Coffee. 2 goals for Sancho. You've changed it to there, Tom. Hey there, Static. I hope that you are well. I like coffee. Man United might give City their first defeat. They did the same to Arsenal. That is correct. Arsenal lost their first game of the season against Manchester United as well. But could we? Liverpool got their first loss of the season as well. But obviously that was quite earlier on. That's fine. So we'll Vicky's question in terms of Cancelo, I'll also go back when Charlie comes back as well. But for me, in terms of Cancelo, I'd probably say Cancelo is probably one of the best fullbacks in the world right now, and one of the best fullbacks in terms of the Premier League. He could do literally anything. From what I've heard from his playing at his former club, he used to be a winger, but then Pep changed him over to a fullback, and he's worked very, very well there. So he's got that little bit of both. That's the thing with Pep Guardiola, which Charlie will be able to touch on soon, is that Pep is able to change any player around, and it will still work. Maisy should play the backline beat Liverpool. I think the thing is, when you're playing against the likes of Man City and Liverpool, who hold so much possession, you're gonna need to play counter-attacking football. That's the only way you're gonna ever get a result against either team. So we're gonna have to play counter-attacking football against Man City, because if we was to go possession-based football against Man City, I think we'd be absolutely slaughtered. I think City will win. Haaland will defo score. Whether Ronaldo plays is another show. Ronaldo is supposed to be playing. This is supposed to be playing over the weekend. Just because both Rashford and Martial is out. Gaz, good evening. Hope you are well. If we play the same performance as we did against Liverpool, against City, we may pull out with a 2-2 draw, 3-2 to Man United. Love your thinking. I think Man United has gave Liverpool their... We did. I like coffee. I mean, Cancelo's not injured. So if I look at the injury lineup for Man City, I'm sure Charlie only said Calvin Phillips and Calvin Phillips and John Stones because he got injured during the England game. But apart from that, I don't think there is any other injuries in terms of Manchester City. So Laporte is supposed to be available for the game, but I don't think he'll probably start because the new signing from Borussia Dortmund will be playing. Maguire's out, advantage. Stones is out. Yeah, so it's only two. It looks like it's only going to be two players there, Phillips and John Stones, who's going to be out for the game. Hey there, Renee. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Charlie is back. How are you, Charlie?
I'm not bad. Sorry about that.
No need to apologise. Has Dallo won you over yet? No, he's played well, but I still don't think he's good enough as a Manchester United player. We'd need a better right back. People saying about, obviously, Vicky asked about Cancelo. Is he injured or is he going to be starting most likely?
He'll be starting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope so anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he probably will. Mace, depending on how the game time, what time should United make subs? I think it all depends on what the scoreline is going to be, in my opinion. If, for example, United was losing 3-0 at half-time, you need to make subs at half-time. If, for example, it's 0-0, keep it until 60th minute. What would your... Pep's a bit like on and off with his substitutes, isn't he, Charlie? Like, sometimes he'll make, like, one substitute. Sometimes he'll make all 5.
Yeah. You'll never see a sub before the 60th minute, even if we're 6-0 down at half-time. It'll be at least after the 60th minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Hey there, Paul. Thank you for coming in. I hope that you are well. For you as well, I know you mentioned about you've got Erling Haaland. A lot of Man City fans. I was speaking to a Man City fan, and they said that they thought that that Man City's a bit reliant on Erling Haaland right now. I don't know how. I wanted to know from your point of view on that.
No, I don't think so. Seeing as though last season we won the Premier League without a striker, to bring him in is just another option. And even if we take him off, we're likely to score. He came off against Forest. I think we scored another 2 or 3 through Alvarez. So I wouldn't say we're reliant on him.
Mm-hmm. And Alvarez, what a signing he was, because he was an absolute terrific signing as well by Manchester City. He's only very young as well, and he can literally play anywhere in that front three.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant signing again.
Exactly. Ravi asked thoughts on Kyle Walker.
Every City fan loves him. Simple as that, really. He's a great servant, great player. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm. In terms of Kyle Walker, I think if you was looking at him for country, I don't think he suits playing as a centre back.
No.
He's a lot more sloppy as a centre back, but in terms of a fullback in the way Pep plays, I think he is a great fullback, and he's very, very strong. There isn't many players for me who could get past Kyle Walker.
Definitely not. No.
Mm-hmm. Do you see a red card in this game from Rabbit?
Depend. It can change. Every game's different, really, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Depends how the first half an hour or so goes.
I don't know about you, Charlie, but when I've watched the Manchester derbies these past, I'd say 5 years, they haven't been you don't see the rivalry as much anymore in terms of players. If you look at, of course, the way Gary Neville was with Man City, the way Roy Keane was with Man City, and you look at how Aguero was with Manchester United, Mario Balotelli, you just don't see that anymore in terms of the two squads, what we've got.
No, they're both managers play similar styles. It's all nice, attractive, short passing football. There's no really hard tackles or anything like that, especially in the last couple of years.
Exactly. And I was seeing from a Manchester United fans saying they wanted Scott McTominay to be a Roy Keane on Haaland. I don't know if that's going to happen though, but I like Coffee. Kyle Walker struggled against us. I like Coffee's a Newcastle fan. Will Man United look to attack Man City in the same way? I think Man United is going to go as a counter-attacking threat. We played as counter-attacking football for years now against Manchester City. It's been quite successful, I'd say, in the last 5 years against in the Etihad, but I think if we was to try and match up City's possession, I don't know if you agree, Charlie, but I think we will get battered and we'd leave holes in that squad.
Yeah, work right into Pep's way of playing. Simple as that. Just what United have to do, try and hold us out, try and break on the counter-attack. Simple as that. That's why I think Rashford will be a big miss on Sunday.
Exactly, and for me, it's going to be quite interesting because I don't know if you know much about him. People want Garnacho to start and either have him or Sancho in the false nine, so we could do counter-attacking football that way. Because as Ronaldo doesn't have the pace as he used to, so if we was to play counter-attacking football, he either doesn't drop deep, or we don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit of a big game to throw Garnacho into. I don't see Ten Hag doing that, to be honest.
Exactly. I completely agree. Rich, hey there, Rich. I hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Ravi said against Newcastle, Kyle Walker was getting exposed.
Yeah, but everyone has an off game now and again, and I think that was his day, to be honest. He's not put foot wrong since then, to be honest.
I'd sooner rather have Kyle Walker than Bello, that's for sure, unless you want to swap.
I'd rather not, thank you.
I thought you'd say that. Gaz said Manchester is bald now.
Oh, yeah. Two best ball managers in the world are both in Manchester.
The Baldy Derby! From what people like Man City fans were saying as well, they wanted Ten Hag to be Pep's successor if he'd never come to United. Was that something you would have liked?
I never thought about it, to be honest. I never really watched Ten Hag football until this season. Never really watched Ajax. Unknown to me. So most fans were thinking Brendan Rodgers, but since that, it's all gone downhill for him at Leicester. So maybe it could be Arteta or company. He's doing quite well at Burnley at the minute.
Would you have Arteta as a Manchester City fan?
I'd take him. I know the Arsenal fans don't like him. I think since he's gone there, he's improved them. They've gone from Europa League. Well, they're still in the Europa League, but they were out of Europe for a while. They went back into the Europa League. Should have got fourth, really, last season. And they look the real deal this season, near the top.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Brendan Rodgers, even Man United fans wanted him. I don't know why some United fans wanted him, but another option which we haven't mentioned, what Man City fans wanted as well, was Luis Enrique. I don't know how much you've watched of him.
Well, he's the manager of Spain at the minute, and they're looking good. They have got good players, though. Pedri, Gavi, others, Rodri, of course, Laporte, Eric Garcia used to play at City, Ferran Torres, even though he's not doing well at Barca at the minute, but they have got quite a good team, Spain at the moment, and of course they beat Portugal to the Nations League semi-finals the other day, so
it's a very young squad as well.
Yeah.
My dad has a question for you both, for both teams. So obviously, for you, if you was looking at Man United, who do you think are overrated? What Man United players do you think are overrated?
Where do I start?
Oh, get your list out, Charlie.
But seriously, I'd probably say Fernandes. I think he's a bit overrated, to be honest. Varane maybe, and how United fans have been hyping up Dalot over the last couple of days.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you. Thank you. Someone said it about Dalot. Thank you. I'm not losing my mind about him now, but I'm gonna try and think from a Man City point of view now. I think that I'd say that he overrated. I've got two players from Man City who I'd say is overrated. One, I'd have to go with Mahrez.
Yeah.
And another one, I'd have to say Jack Grealish, but I don't know how rated he is with your team anymore. But I suppose that moves on to Ravi's question. Has he shown levels at Manchester City?
Well, last season was awful. Simple as that. Didn't do what was expected, even though we won the league. And this season hasn't been great until that Wolves game. He looked very good in that one. And I could honestly see him starting in this game.
Mm-hmm. So if you was going to pick your front three, then I'm guessing would you have Foden, Grealish, and Haaland?
Yeah, Foden, Grealish, Haaland, front three.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people will probably say though Foden's overrated, but for me, I actually think he's the best young player in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's different levels.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and what Pep's turned him into has been absolutely incredible for me as a player. Tarsem thinks City's going to win 2-0. Oh, Tarsem, why have you done that? Good evening, Luca. Hope you're well. You're home now. Hope you had a lovely weekend time away. Ravi, how does Ten Hag approach this game? I've already touched on it a few times, but counter-attacking football, the way he's approached Liverpool, I don't see him matching up possession, and I'd rather play counter-attacking football and get a result than play dominant football and lose. It's just as simple as that, really.
Yeah. If you played nice football, passing it around the back, you'd play right into our hands, and you don't want to do that.
No, exactly not. Rich has said Haaland looks like the real deal. And he does. He looks absolutely incredible, Erling Haaland, doesn't it? And you got him for an absolute bargain.
Yeah, signing of the summer by an absolute country mile, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I obviously done my summer signings, but I took it away from Manchester and Liverpool because I wanted to pick less obvious ones. But taking away, obviously, top teams, I'd probably say Palhinha from Fulham was summer signing for me, 100%, and only the 10 million as well. Great video, thank you, just me. Who do you see wins for this game week? I'm gonna be doing my match day 9 predictions with John at 9 o'clock tonight, so you'll be able to see who I picked for what team. Renee, I think City will destroy your team. It'll be 6-0 City. I'm sure you'll be happy with that, won't you, Charlie?
I'd love that. 6-0.
Oh, that wouldn't be a nice one whatsoever. But whilst I'm looking through the comments, what's your favourite memory for you as a Manchester City fan? Don't include that 6-1 because I might just cry.
Yeah, I think apart from that, that'd probably be number 1. Number 2, probably, when we were the first half of that game where we were going to win the league against United, 2-0 up at half-time, cruising. Ignore the second half. That, in my opinion, that never happened. I'll say the first half of that game was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I've got a few memories as a Manchester United fan, but if I was looking at in terms of atmosphere of more recently, do you know the Scott McTominay winner on like the 90+6th minute?
I was there.
You was there?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, to be honest. It was a terrific goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Discussing about players. Oh, I like Coffee's gone Aguero moment. Oh. In terms of Ederson, because I've heard mixed opinions about Ederson as a goalkeeper. For me, I think he's a great goalkeeper, but I've heard a lot of people want to sell.
I won't sell. I don't think he's as good as people say. He's great with his feet. He could improve his shot stopping, but definitely wouldn't sell.
Do you think the reason why people think he looks good is because of the possessions that he holds and he doesn't really have too much to do a lot? Would you say?
Yeah, that's the thing, really. If he played for a team not as good as City, I think he'd look phenomenal. Because very rarely face shots, and if City face a shot, it's likely to go in because there's not many actually coming at the defence and the keeper.
Yeah, that's very true. Mays, how clinical do United need to be in this game? I think every opportunity, just as from Charlie's point of view, from a City fan, every opportunity you get, you need to try and score.
Definitely.
Will Man City allow Man United to counter-attack? There has been times where we have counter-attacked. There'll be one where Anthony Martial, he's very good at counter-attacking. For Manchester United, and and the Sancho goal, if I'm not mistaken, last season was from a counter attack one at Charlie.
Yeah.
I think if we get into the right spaces, I think we should be able to counter attack.
Well, on that, if I'd expect City to let United counter attack, because if we sit back, we're playing into your hands, then it's basically the opposite of what we've been saying. If United play out the back, play more attacking, playing into City's hands, but if it was the other way around, we'd be playing into United's hands. So I'd expect United to have to sit back, to be honest, have to counter attack, and City to continue our normal way of playing, because we never really change for anyone.
Yeah, completely agree. My dad has that, because we've already said our favourite memory. What's your worst memory from a derby?
Worst memory? It's probably the second half of that game I mentioned before. Yeah, that's definitely up there. Michael Owen's last minute winner in 2009.
Oh yeah, that was lovely.
Rooney's overhead kick. I'd probably say the second half of that 3-2 game a couple of years ago, when Pogba turned into a world-class player like he does every season.
Once a season, if that.
Yeah.
You know what? Even though people probably disagree, I'd actually say the game at Etihad at Old Trafford last season wasn't because, of course, of the scoreline. It wasn't the thing what bothered me the most. It was the fact that in the end, Man City treated that game like a training session.
Yeah, especially the second half, like a training session, playing it about. I think there was 24 passes for Bernardo Silva's goal. It was just comfortable all afternoon that day.
Exactly. Mays, do you think Casemiro will start or come off the bench? I think most likely he'll come off the bench. I can't see him starting, but I think it's all depending on Scott McTominay, because apparently people say he's picked up a knock. He's supposed to be fit, but I don't know. I like coffee. I think the 4-3 win for Man City was a crazy game. That was a mad game as well. My fave was when Rooney scored the bicycle kick, and that's from a Liverpool fan. Luke has gone for a 2-1 Man United. Let's have a see. Andrew's worst memory was waking up next to a Scottish. Oh, dear me. We'll go on to the next question now in terms of Champions League. How do you feel like your Champions League hopes are for now for this season?
Well, the Dortmund game at home was definitely not the greatest, and we still got the 3 points, what we needed. Sevilla was comfortable the whole game. Basically, if we win our next 2, Copenhagen, home and away, we're through. Of course, like to finish top for a easier draw in the first knockout round. and then it's there from then on in. Pep's football doesn't really suit knockout football, I don't think. So hopefully we can get it done.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think for me, I don't know if you agree. I think if you don't do it this season, I do think when is City gonna do it?
Yeah. Especially with Haaland now. We've not had that good a striker since Aguero's gone. So, and he could potentially even become better than Aguero in the next couple of years with how he's going at the moment.
Here's a stat what I think you might like. I don't know if you've seen it, but Haaland scored more goals this season than Ronaldo has in his last 30 games.
He's a monster. It's like having a robot up front. It's scary.
It is scary. It's scary for any fan to play against him now at this point. My dad has asked, do you think Man City bottled the Champions League for the last 2 to 3 years?
Well, we've definitely had those moments. Chelsea in the final, we just didn't turn up. That was a poor performance. Real Madrid last year in the semi-finals, we were 5 minutes away from the final. Rodrigo scores 2 in 2 minutes. And as soon as it went to extra time, I knew we'd get beat. There was no way we would fight back from that. And Tottenham as well in quarterfinals the other year. Maybe VAR was against us that day, but
wasn't one Leon as well?
Yeah, Leon. That Pep decided to play a back three for the first time ever, and it ended horribly.
So, looking at obviously the Champions League and looking at the recent history of Man United at Etihad, would you think that I even say if you look at even the first couple of times with Pep against Tuchel, would you say Pep like overthinks, wants to try new things to see if he gets victories out of it?
Yeah, I think Tuchel was in his head for a bit of time. It was 3 in a row, I think. Chelsea beat City. And then at Stamford Bridge last year, that all changed. And then Chelsea we beat them every time since then.
That's true. I think wasn't it the last one, the Champions League final?
Yeah.
Good evening, Niall. Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Henry said Ronaldo will want a huge payoff if he goes in January. He will probably want a payoff, but he's only got like 6 months left of his contract anyway, so there's not really much to pay. He can sign a pre-contract agreement if he really wanted to elsewhere. But
I don't see him going in January, to be honest. He'll run his contract down and then go in the summer, or potentially even retire.
If you was to see Ronaldo go to somewhere else, because this was a big, massive debate for Man United fans, people were saying because you heard he got rejected off PSG, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. Where do you think he would end up going? Because he wants to play Champions League football, he claims, but then he hasn't gone.
Well, for the top teams, it financially don't make any sense because a 37-year-old on $500,000 a week or something like that, it's a lot of money, even if it's a year or two. So I'd see him maybe going America or something like that. I don't see him staying in Europe.
You know, when you go America, it's your end of your career.
Yeah, definitely.
A couple of them went there, and they Bale, Chiellini
at the moment, and then Ibrahimovic was there for a while, but then ended up back in Europe. So he could do an Ibrahimovic, but you never know.
I think though, for me, he went to the leagues wrongly for me. I think he should have gone from Man United to Real Madrid, back to United, then to Juventus. I just think with it being a slower paced league, I don't think it suited him.
No. I'd agree with that, yeah.
Henry asked, is it now or never for City to win the Champions League?
I wouldn't say never. I think we got to win it at some point. Even if it's not this year, got to be in the next 5, I'd say.
Yeah, you've got to win it. And when's Pep contracted to? Is it 2025 or 6? Is it?
Well, at the moment, it's till the end of next season, but
Okay.
yeah, there's rumours that he'll sign a new one in the next couple of weeks, so around 2025, 2026, yeah.
And if he doesn't win the Champions League, do you think he would stay for that entire duration, do you think?
It depends how long it takes, because if we get unlucky year after year after year, I think he'd eventually just give up on it, so I'm hoping he stays, but I don't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Renee, Haaland is better than Ronaldo. What do you think? Of course, if you was looking at history, you'd say no. But in terms of current form, you'd say yes.
Yeah, Ronaldo can't even lace Haaland's boots at the minute.
That's true. Niall, for me, Haaland is out of this world. I think he'll finish top goal scorer with the golden boot. He probably will. I think at the moment I'm getting averaging around 40 goals by the end of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I'd want him to break Salah's record. That'd be nice.
Both me and you would love that to happen. Both of us would.
Definitely.
There was another question. Where was the question now? Sorry. Okay, yeah. My dad asked, "What's your opinion on Darwin Núñez?"
Do you want me to be serious, or let's just laugh at him? Because at the moment he's been abysmal. But I think eventually it will work for him. But at the moment he's been below par.
Yeah, I said though, because you know I watch a lot of the Portuguese league. For me, Darwin Núñez, the way he plays is like Romelu Lukaku. He's got a terrible first touch, but because he's so young, he can snap out of it eventually. But Lukaku can't. But what I said is to Liverpool fans, which about 90% didn't listen to me, is that if you want Darwin Núñez to succeed, you've got to change your formation. 4-3-3 is not going to do no favours for this guy. You either need to change it to a 4-2-3-1 and put Firmino in the 10, or play as a 4-4-2. Otherwise, it's not going to benefit him. And on top of that, he's shown that he's got a temper on him. So a lot of centre-backs are going to target him now.
Yeah, well, I don't see Klopp changing his system to benefit one player. I think he'd eventually just become a bench warmer, to be honest, and he'd have to get used to the formation and the way of playing, because Klopp can be stubborn in that way.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. Torsen, Pogba claims Juventus fans are better than Man United fans. Don't listen to the word that guy says. He's got verbal diarrhea coming out of his mouth. Good evening, Mike. I hope you're well. I know what your answer's gonna be, but what's your opinion on Paul Pogba, like at his time at Man United? Because I've got no words.
He definitely shown now and again that he could have been a world-class player. When Ollie first come in, he was very good for a period of time, and he's just I don't know what to say really, but he just weren't good enough. He didn't turn up late to training, had the wrong attitude, and that definitely didn't help him.
Exactly, and people used to say like, "Oh, we need a CDM, then Pogba's gonna be world class." But I used to say if he couldn't succeed in a midfield three of Ander Herrera, Matic, he wasn't aging when he first come to United. I know he's on the bit of the older side, but he was still technically brilliant. If he couldn't succeed in that midfield three, what makes you think that getting a world class CDM is going to do him any favours?
Yeah, he was never a defensive midfielder. A bit like Fred in a defensive midfielder, really. He's definitely better in a midfield three. And that period of time where he was on the left wing, he looked good for a bit.
Exactly. He actually didn't do too bad, but he's quite slow for me. So I don't think he wouldn't have suited that
Yeah,
left wing for a lot of
he
teams.
wouldn't have stayed in left wing. I think maybe Ten Hag could have, at the start, of course, he was playing the 4-3-3 and technically still does with Eriksen, Fernandes, and McTominay off red at the minute. Casemiro, I'd expect to take McTominay's spot, obviously, but in a midfield three, I think he's a lot better player than he is in a midfield two. And you see that for France with Kante, who just sits. Pogba can do all the attacking work and shows his magic.
Exactly. And Niall, can you see Darwin Pot Noodles only turning up for Champions League games rather than league games, which is your bread and butter games? He hasn't turned up for any games, if you want me to be honest.
The only game he has turned up for was a pre-season friendly against us.
Exactly. So, good luck to that, Darwin Núñez. I think that was actually his first trophy in years as well. He didn't win any under Benfica. Just me, are you doing a watch along? Yeah, I'll be doing not for this game, but I'll be doing a watch along tomorrow for the Sporting game. George has said, I think Guardiola would leave the Premier League if he wins the Champions League. What do you think about that?
I don't think he'd leave straight away as soon as we'd won it. I think he'd stay maybe season, maybe two after we'd won it, if we do, that is. And then he'd move on.
Yeah, 100%. So before we wrap up, would you like to give your lineup prediction for Man City?
Yeah. Edison will be in goal. I think that's fairly obvious. Walker has to start. Cancelo left back. I'd play Diaz and Akanji in the middle of the back four, with Rodri in front. De Bruyne next to Bernardo, I'd say. And then Haaland up front. That's probably one of the first names on the team sheet. I'd give Grealish a start on the left, seeing as they played quite well against Wolves. And then I'd play Foden on the right. He knows what a Manchester derby means.
Do you think Foden plays well on the right-hand side? Because I don't think he's as effective in that area.
I think he's better on the left, but Grealish can't do anything on the right-hand side. And Foden can definitely do a job out there. So I'd play him on the right. And I think he's got a start in this game, to be honest. He's never scored in a derby as well. And hopefully that can happen this weekend.
Has he assisted in the derby? Because I'm sure he did assist a goal.
Yeah, I think he's had an assist, but just never scored.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a Haaland and Martinez reunion. I don't think if you watched this Dortmund versus Ajax last season, but Martinez played very well against Haaland, so hopefully that could be another one, but fingers crossed anyway. My lineup prediction: De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Malacia, McTominay, Eriksen, Bruno, Sancho, Antony, Ronaldo.
Yeah, simple, really. Well, you saw in the international break why Maguire weren't playing. He had an absolute disaster against Germany. Luke Shaw looked quite good, but in my opinion, he's a better player in a back five rather than a back four. And simple as that, really. Malacia deserves to play after how he's been playing. McTominay, I'd say, deserves to play as well after how he's been playing, as well as Scotland.
And as much as people dislike Scott McTominay, he does always turn up against City. He does have that passion as a Man United player. I just don't think he's up to scratch. And Malacia definitely does deserve a start. I think he was a bit shaky against Arsenal. I think Saka overran him a few times, but it wasn't anything to the point where I was overly concerned. And he's still only new to the Premier League yet again. So, got to give the boy a bit opportunities and chance, but it's great to knock out Luke Shaw out that team when Luke Shaw hasn't really done well for years and he still kept his place. So
it's similar to Pogba with Luke Shaw. On his day, he can look a very good player, but at the minute, especially for United, he's not looked good.
exactly.
And United's team, I think it's fairly obvious who would play. I don't expect much difference from what you've just said. I think Ronaldo has to play with Martial and Rashford injured. Sancho has to start, Anthony has to start, and simple as that, really.
Andrew asked, which of the following are the biggest losses? Zinchenko, Sterling, Jesus.
I would honestly say Zinchenko. I didn't rate Sterling at all. I thought he was wasteful. I thought he didn't take his chances. Jesus was never going to start, and with Alvarez and Haaland coming in, he's not a big miss. And Zinchenko, even though we've brought Gomez in, I always quite like Zinchenko with how he played. Turned up in the big moments and never let us down, really.
And he was quite versatile, wasn't he, Zinchenko? Because if you've got loads of midfielders anyway, but if you had like a sudden injury crisis in that midfield, he could slot in there if you really needed him.
Yeah, definitely. Very versatile, and that's another benefit. And he was very cheap when he was brought in as well, like 4 million and then 30 million profit. So can't complain.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous, isn't it? The amount of profit you made on that. But Jesus was a funny one because he was obviously brought in to be used as a striker, but he ended up wanting to be a winger, and you knew you're definitely not getting as a winger.
And for that period of time on the wing, he didn't look that bad, to be fair. But of course, he's not gonna get in over Foden, over Grealish, over Mahrez, over anyone who can play out there.
Even they put De Bruyne as a winger probably before Jesus.
Yeah.
May's thoughts on Martial, very injury. I think he's a good player. If he was to stay fully fit, the way he played in pre-season, he'd be brilliant. He turns up against City as well. I don't know if you remember that picture, Charlie, but there was like 6 Man City players crowding around Martial.
Yeah, but some would call him the pre-season Pele. He never actually does it in the actual season. He's always doing it in July and the start of August, so doesn't do it when it matters. And in my opinion, he's lazy. He should.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's lazy as well. And he's been here, I'd say about 7-8 seasons. I was looking forward to seeing him because I think he suits the way Ten Hag plays, and pre-season shown that. But he hasn't. I think he came on as a substitute. I can't remember what game now. And I think it was Liverpool, and he hasn't been seen since.
Yeah, he got subbed on at half time when Alanga played quite well in that Liverpool game, I thought, as well. And I don't think I've seen him play since that Liverpool game either.
Exactly. Sancho, Anthony, Ronaldo sounds spicy. Yes, hope it does. Hey, Brush, hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Completely agree. Glazers out. My dad has asked, when Pep leaves, do you think City will struggle?
I think briefly, I trust the board and people like that to find the right man to replace him. And since we've been took over, there's been no real failure as managers. Mancini, of course, won the league. Pellegrini won the league. And Pep's been a revelation, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you, Charlie, for coming on. It's been a great show. Good to catch up with you. I know it's been a while since we've done a show together. Would you like to say your score prediction and also shout out your socials as well?
Yeah. I'll go 3-1. I'll give you a lot of goal, probably on the counter attack, probably Sancho again. I'll say Haaland brace and De Bruyne will get one as well. My 2 channels are Dugout Daily, that's my football channel, and Hit the Apex, the F1 channel, and at MCFC Hibs on Twitter. Cheers for having me.
You're welcome. I've gone for a 3-1 win for City as well. I'm not overly confident that Man United is going to win. Mike's confident now. But I don't know. I just feel like with how City's playing, I'm just not too confident right now. But with your channels, I put the link in the description below. So if you haven't already, go and subscribe to both Charlie's channels. And I've also put your Twitter in the description below as well. I'll be live at 9 o'clock for the Premier League predictions with John. And I've got, of course, my sported watch along tomorrow. So go and check that out. Big shout out again for Andrew, Reese, my queen, and Vicky, who has all became channel members. It really means a lot. Everyone's going for wins for Man City, so that's very optimistic for me. But thank you very, very much, Charlie, for coming on. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you at 9 o'clock. Take care, and bye-bye.